Law enforcement authorities have arrested one of the most notorious contract killers in state history. A self-employed Bergen County man is behind bars, charged with 5 murders, and prosecutors are investigating his involvement in dozens more.
Ever since former Teamster boss Jimmy Hoffa disappeared from the Red Fox restaurant north of Detroit in July 1975, he has been presumed to be as dead as a doornail. The only question is, how was he killed and what happened to Hoffa's body? Now Playboy magazine has published a story which, if true, would confirm years of speculation that Hoffa was chopped up and buried in the Meadowlands in New Jersey. Playboy bases its report on a jailhouse interview with Donald Tony the Greek Francos, a mafia hitman who has been placed in the federal government's witness protection program. The hitman, he says, he was told the details of Hoffa's mob execution by the 2 men he claims are the murderers, John Sullivan and Jimmy Coonan. Francos said Hoffa was killed on orders of mafia boss and Teamster official Tony Provenzano because Hoffa threatened to expose to the federal government details of Teamster mob ties. Hoffa's dismembered body was eventually taken in a drum from Michigan to New Jersey by Joe Sullivan. Sullivan allegedly contacting some wise guys in the cement mixing business who were only too happy to mix Hoffa's remains with the cement that was being used to construct part of Giant Stadium in the Meadowlands.
To show you just how upset the mob is over the death of Jimmy Hoffa, Francos claims he would frequently go to Giant Stadium, sit over the place where Hoffa allegedly is buried, and when the Giants made a touchdown would say, "This one's for you, Jimmy."
The streets will never love you back. Tony the Greek Francos was an old-time hoodlum, Mad Hatter, gangster, hitman, a real hitman that took money to kill people. This guy must have copped out to maybe 4 or 5 homicides. Tony the Greek Francos
was a street guy, an associate of the Gambino crime family and a few other families. He was known as a hitman. A whole bunch of stories of all the murders he committed for the Gambino family, the Lucchese family. And listen, this was a guy that was really dangerous. I mean, if he caught a delusion on you, he'd kill you in a minute.
He was definitely one to be reckoned with back in the day. But this guy told me a story when I was doing time with him. He had to go do a hit for one of the crime families. It was this couple in the late 70s, maybe early 80s. He tells me that this couple seen something they weren't supposed to see. He walks in a building. As he walks in the building, he gets on an elevator, gets off a certain floor, and he has to go take care of what he has to do. The Greek has a silencer on his gun. He goes and he knocks on the door. Zip, 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 zip. He killed both of them. So he got in the elevator. He was going down. There's a guy on the elevator with him going down. Boom, zip, zip. He kills that guy too. He walks off the elevator and he goes about his business for the day. Now, Tony the Greek was a very paranoid guy. He didn't like people around him. He didn't trust nobody. This is a guy that eventually, if you hung out with him, he was going to kill you. And that's exactly what he did with this guy on the elevator. So he got in the elevator. He was going down. There's a guy on the elevator with him going down. Boom, zip, zip. He kills that guy too. He walks off the elevator and he goes about his business for the day. As he goes about his business for the day, a couple months pass by. Detectives, homicide squad is trying to solve this double homicide. They interview some people on that day when it happened, and the woman that got on the elevator with him on the first time going up, she gives a description of Tony the Greek Francos. Now you could look up his name, Tony the Greek Francos. He was a very sharp old guy, mad dog killer. He actually used to hang out with Mad Dog from Hell's Kitchen. And He did a lot of time with them, and he did a lot of state time, this guy. But he was a very tough old man. I got a lot of kicks out of him. He would always come to my cell. Every time he came to my cell, he always needed something from commissary. He never had no money. He was a broke guy. And he has a really sad story. His story was basically growing up. He was never loved by his parents. His mom abandoned him. His father used to smack him around, kick him, beat him up, and he never had no love whatsoever. And these are the stories he used to tell me. So anyway, the woman gives a description of him. They finally get him. He ends up getting caught for another homicide that he committed, and they picked him up for the double homicide of the couple he committed. This guy must have copped out to maybe 4 or 5 homicides. I'm not sure, but he was definitely one to be reckoned with back in the day. Tony the Greek Frankos, he was a strong guy, sad story of life. He was never loved, went the wrong direction, ended up dying in prison. Used to call my mom all the time to say hello, tell Jimmy I said hello. And he passed away in jail. Now, this is a story I want to send out to all these kids out there to let you know that if you think you're going to excel through the streets and commit crimes and hang out with wise guys or hang out with gangs and you're going to become something, I'm letting you know sooner or later, you're going to find out that one of your friends that you think you are so tight with are gonna disappoint you. They're gonna disappoint you. And when they do, I recommend you walk away right away and get out of there, because what's next to come is another disappointment. And you're gonna say, you know what? I should never even been this person's friend. Because like I said, if you have one friend, you have a lot. So this is a story about Tony Frankos I wanted to share with you. I hope you enjoy it. The story, after this, I'll be telling a story about Michael Marola, a 2-part series. I hope you guys enjoy it. Have a good Friday. Subscribe to my channel. Share this video. And to my subscribers, I love you. I love you guys. You guys are the best. And have a great weekend. I'll be coming out with another video right after this. Love yous. Bye.